It's been a bit of a challenge with your hectic schedule making this happen.
We have, I think, over 53 countries that are involved in the ISO standards. I started my journey on AI started with algorithmic trading. I was working for a Dutch financial services company, helping with the trading of algorithmic traders, so precursors of AI systems. When AI came around, I was just going, damn, I really need this best practice and guidance to help me. I became the chair of the Mirror Committee. So that was the beginning of the journey. Australia actually started with, like every country, on AI ethics principles that were developed by CSIRO Data 61. The federal government appointed 12 experts as an intro group to advise on option for guardrails for high-risk AI systems. So I'm one of those experts. As a lawyer, the appeal of standards is very much, I used to be a litigator too, so to not have to deal with different jurisdiction and have different requirements that are impossible to match. A number of AIPs comes into play here. The Safety Commissioner is getting new powers and is looking at specific challenges.
Mm-hmm. We do have a lot to learn from how you're doing. We're now currently working on a similar version in Hebrew to that document, just to help businesses locally.
AI is effectively an international technology, so we very much focus on shipping it at ISO so that we can bring it back in Australia and it suits the Australian perspective. So from that perspective, we started to effectively, with Standard Australia, do that course. So there's a training course on 402001 that's provided. There's a number of paper. At the moment, it's very much that guidance and understanding of the different concepts that we putting forward. We very much like Israel, right? So we're a small delegation. So that's why, we work very closely.
Australia is really a lighthouse that we look to for inspiration on how to do things. And again, what Australia is doing, bringing different stakeholders to the standardization effort, is admirable.
This invisible thread that links everything. They're an excellent mechanism for consensus and interoperability, for international consensus and interoperability. There was always this idea, I think, that standards were just technical. It was they were not socio-technical.
I think we went the right way going with AI trustworthiness, because we're not necessarily doing philosophical societal work around ethics per se, but more about the implementation of safety, trustworthiness, robustness of the tools that are being developed. They talk in very concrete terms of, again, the trustworthiness of the systems, the transparency, the repeatability of certain tests that you're doing along the way of development and deployment.
We have some excellent standards on risk management and governance. So when we look at those standards, it's not just technical expert. We actually are preaching. We're doing what we're preaching. It's a multidisciplinary approach. Australia has been leading on AI and sustainability. So I think Helen's received the latest standards awards on.
Yes, and with that, I think it'd be super interesting to see how is Australia reacting to that amazing effort done by the EU.
So at the moment, let's say we're getting our training wheels on GTC 21, and we're hoping to, as we get to understand a bit more of the work, just to be able to do that bridge and be a positive contributor.
Yes, amazing.
Like whether the government will follow the EU or any other approach, I can't comment on to that. I have to, again, a big wave to all the experts. They've done fantastic work. When we write laws like black and letter law, it's hard to change. So from that perspective, standards offer one mechanism. There's other mechanism, but it offers one mechanism on how you allow flexibility and change a little bit more easily. What we've seen in Australia is, like, if the standards are good, the industry adopts it and it allows them to sets that best practice. Standards does that very well. It allows you to have similar process that are applied across if they're not changed. So it gives you those bridges. And then it facilitates the procurement of the technology. So if it's of the right quality, then it's adopted by organization and can support their process and establish best practice. So yes, it's an organic growth towards being recognized as best practice, and then can be used to effectively articulate what's reasonable or not as part, let's say, of precedents. That's always nice to have experts recognized for the hard, long hours and late hours. So on the OECD, yes, I'm part of the AI risk and incidents groups. I've been looking at all the risk framework, and obviously, fascinating work. Again, my work is very much focused on what is interoperable, what's the common grounds, so that we can actually develop the technology without having to redo everything each time.
I'm coming. Yeah. So see you there.
Yes, but it's been fantastic work.
I thought it'd be not okay to not come in physically. Is the international tension, and there where the OECD comes in an abstraction layer above that, trying to again connect the dots that are maybe sometimes diverging.
And I think to finish on this, in such a fragmented ecosystem, what we want is more of those initiatives that build the bridge rather than less.
Amazing.
It's more working towards that goal. What are the common perspectives that we can build on?
I couldn't agree more. What a great way to finish this fantastic conversation. Thank you again, Aurelie, for making the time. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure too. Always nice to exchange with you.
Same here. It was fantastic. Thanks again.